In this book, Chris Bailey presents a seemingly simple idea to increase one's focus, and he calls it a distraction list. It turns out that this is incredibly effective at solving distractions. External distractions aren't even that bad. It turns out that most of the time we are distracting ourselves. Now, we usually do one of two things when a distraction creeps in. We push it away, or we let it push us off course, and then it disrupts our focus. But a distraction list is a third option that is even better than pushing that distraction away. So what is a distraction list and how do we use one? Whenever you sit down to do intentional focus of any kind, it could be work, reading, doesn't really matter. Set your handy dandy pocket notebook next to you and write distraction list at the top of one of the pages. These are my favorite pocket notebooks. They're on my website in case stores in your area don't have them. As you focus, there will be clusters of distractions that begin to form around the fringes of your attentional space. Whenever you feel one beginning to encroach, instead of pushing it away, pause what you're doing and write down the distraction. Keep it brief, don't give it more time than it needs, and then return back to whatever you were focusing on. Here's why this eliminates distractions. First of all, pushing away distractions rarely works, unless it's a whim, I really want nerd clusters right now. Those you can usually push those away. But more often than not, relevant distractions keep cropping up and revisiting you until you just can't take it anymore. By writing them down, and there's studies on this, your brain literally dedicates less energy to it when you physically write it down. It's so cool because now your brain no longer needs to hold that because it's being held elsewhere. And what this does is it closes that thought loop. The second reason this works so well is distractions aren't always bad. I know that sounds weird, but actually most distractions are really important and things you genuinely need to take care of. So instead of forgetting it and instead of switching tasks, this lets you save it for later. And then when you're done focusing, you can come back and go through all the useful things that you happened to be distracted by. Okay, so let me show you some of the distractions that pop up during an hour of reading. So first on the list is I made a note to revisit 2 pages in the book when I released my video announcing my planner, because there was 2 things that really fit well with that. I had 6 Twitter or X post ideas, 2 Substack ideas for short form notes, 2 newsletter ideas, 1 YouTube community post idea, 1 YouTube video idea, and kind of the introduction to that. Ooh, okay, I thought of a new way to minimize distractions from my phone that I want to try. I somehow randomly remembered an old game I used to play when I was a kid, and it brought back lots of nostalgia, so I made a note to go research that and see if I can find it. I made a note to revisit a lesson or a fact about distraction that I found very interesting. I had an idea for building a focus supplement, specifically from some things in the book. And last but not least, probably most important, a reminder of a commitment that I forgot and that I need to remember and schedule, because otherwise I'll forget it again. So yeah, we give distractions a bad rap, but as you can see, most, if not all of these are good things that I want or should do. The only problem is now is not the appropriate time to do them. So we need to dislodge this idea that all distractions are bad. They're not. Their timing is just off. I could just stop reading, whenever I come up with a new post idea and just go ahead and quick make that post. But if I had, it would have broken my focus, and most of those other ideas and other connections probably wouldn't have happened, because then it takes time to refocus back into the book. It's so simple, but it's pretty awesome. And that's why I carry this with me. Later that day, I had a chunk of time, about 30 minutes, where I just went through my whole distraction list. And when I went through it for the second time, I realized that some of these ideas weren't really that great, and I'm glad I didn't act on them in the moment. But the rest of them were quite useful. So I made a few Twitter or X posts and a few Substack notes. I posted a poll on my YouTube community, and the rest of it I filed away into Notion, which is my second brain, as it were. And one of those ideas was this video. and that's kind of where it came from. Here are the key takeaways for this video. First of all, not all distractions are bad. For example, one of the most common distractions when you are working is you remember something else you need to do, which pins you between either switching tasks or hoping that you don't forget it. So a distraction list bridges that gap because you can now stay focused on what you're doing. You won't be distracted by writing it in a notebook, trust me, and you won't lose the idea. So it's the best of all worlds. Not to mention getting it out of your head helps you focus even better. My absolute favorite pocket notebook of all time is on my website. They're laminated and cool stuff because they're really hard to find online, which is really sad. If you want more items to boost your productivity, check out this video in the center of the screen where I lay out my 5 productivity essentials.